My biggest thing is taking all the heat that I did last year, even this season. Like everybody said, oh, he can run when nobody's in the race. So for me, it was personal. I'm here to compete just like everybody else. I don't train to lose. So when people complain and things about, oh, is he gonna show up at the big races? Are he gonna do this? Like this year, I'm worrying only about myself. I don't care about what the naysayers say. I'm focused more on me.
Bags down, spikes on. Welcome to the track. Hi, my name is Colin Weitzman. I'm going to be your host for this episode of Track World News presented by Track Barn. And today we have a lot of stuff that went on this past weekend. Prefontaine, Sha'Carri Richardson coming in second behind Elaine Thompson-Herah, running a 10.92. Trayvon Bromell getting a statement win and a definite confidence booster. Michael Norman doing the same with a huge confidence booster for him in the 400. We also had the regional championships for the NCAAs, where we saw Micah Williams running a 9.86, and how he might be the new favorite looking into making that world team for USA. Before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Manscaped. As track athletes, we're going to be running tons of miles every week and can be really sweaty and gross after a hard day of practice, but those days are behind us. Manscaped just sent me their brand new performance package, which comes with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. Look, I've tried a lot of razors in my day, but the Lawnmower 4.0 is just different. Its ceramic blade helps reduce grooming accidents, LED light allows you to shave anytime, anywhere, and since it's waterproof, you can even take it in the shower if you want. When shopping with Manscaped, use code TWN at checkout to get 20% off your entire order, plus free shipping worldwide. Show up to your next meet looking good. If you want to be the best, you gotta look the best. Link is in the description, and now back to the video. The winner, Elaine Thompson-Herah, with a 10.79. Sha'Carri Richardson in second with a 10.92. So Elaine Thompson-Herah and then Sha'Carri Richardson. So Elaine Thompson-Herah, both of these athletes, they really kind of weren't in like the groove that we would normally or kind of expect them to be in, right? So usually when you picture these two women sprinting, they run very smooth, very clean, and it doesn't have any struggle when they're running. But it looked like when they were running this race, they were kind of muscling through it a little bit. Like they were really grimacing and trying to push through and run a fast time. And I think that's fine. Like it's kind of still early in the season. We have some time until we're gonna have the World Championships, which is happening in a little under 2 months now. And so I don't think that we're looking too much into it. It's more just the results. Like I don't believe that the time mattered too much for any of these ladies as much as the placement did for them. So Elaine Thompson-Herah definitely wanted to get out and get a win here with a 10.79. Like her getting a win over Sha'Carri was massive for her, as just like look, I still got your number. I'm still better than you. You're not beating me, even if I'm not running at my very best. That's what Elaine Thompson-Herah is getting out of this race. Sha'Carri Richardson is getting out of this race. I'm back. I'm still competing at a high level. Because if you remember last week, I was getting a lot of slander from people on Twitter and on Instagram and everywhere talking about how my comparison of Sha'Carri Richardson to Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce was unwarranted. Everyone's saying you cannot compare Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce's bad start last year to Sha'Carri Richardson's bad start this year, because Sha'Carri hasn't won anything and Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce had won all this stuff. You can't compare their bad starts. But yet, now in the second race of the year, they run the same times adjusted last year as this year. Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce runs a 10.86 in her second race of the year last season, wind adjusted to a 10.9, and Sha'Carri Richardson runs a 10.9 here in her second race of the year. So right now, they're both trending in the same type of direction, 2 for 2 on what their opening races were last year and this year. And remember, in the third race, Shelly Ann Fraser-Pryce ran a 10.63. Could Sha'Carri Richardson do that? It's a definite possibility. We know she has the talent to do 10.7. She's done it before. I don't know where she's going to be competing this weekend. I don't think it's really been released or it's been talked about too much. But if she is able to run a fast time, then I'm going to be looking at that as hey, everyone has their own kind of trend, and it looks like she's trending in the same way that Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce was. So I'll be looking for all of those apologies that many of you owe me. There's a lot of you on Twitter. I can't keep track of all of them, but you know who you are. So you can send that in a text, in a message, a DM, a comment, whatever you'd like, but I'll be looking for that in due time. So like I said, the placement here is going to be the most important thing, and that lean between Shericka Jackson and Sha'Carri, super close if you look at it. I mean, when you're both running 10.92, you got to go down to the 1,000th or whatever. It's going to be that it's a really close race. But like I said, they're both kind of muscling their way through this race. And when we're looking at Sha'Carri's race, she had a few things that didn't go as expected or didn't go her way, which kind of leads towards, all right, if you can perform this well and these things go wrong, just imagine what's going to happen when these things go right. So Sha'Carri, when she was running, her hair got in her way. Like she starts running and you'll see it wraps around her left arm as she's running for her first 2 or 3 strides. And she was wearing a little crown, a tiara, during the race, and that fell off halfway through. And so these are all things that are going to impact you, whether it's mentally or physically there. And so while they're not major impediments, like once you're racing and once you're an athlete at this level, the little things matter. Like all of these ladies are talented and fast. What comes down to it are, what are the little things that you're doing? What little things go right? What little things go bad for you each way? It's the same in every sport. And so having you be able to run a 10.92 and still have these things kind of go bad and mess up is good for you. Like it shows like, all right, look, if we're going to have these things ironed out, maybe we'll tie the hair back more, or wear it in a different style, and so it doesn't wrap around your arm. And hey, maybe for the crown, we go without the crown, or we secure it a little bit more, than we do we did at the Prefontaine Classic. So these are all learning experiences for her, and I think that she'll take a look at that. Like, all right, we're running 10.92 in our second race. We're beating big names like Shericka Jackson, training partner Twanisha Terry, Dina Asher-Smith, like the women who won the 60-meter indoors with Kambuji. Like, you're beating these names. Tania Daniels, who just makes teams like it's her job. Well, it is. So, you're winning these. You're beating these big time people. I think that plays a good factor into how you're feeling after this race. So I think she has some good confidence coming in after this. Obviously she wants to win, she's a competitor, but coming out here and being able to get a win is big time. I loved her uniform as well. Like she had a bedazzled uniform, crowns and everything. Like it, to an otherwise very plain and boring uniform, like she made it her own. Like she's sticking out. It's just a red uniform that's boring, and you're putting all of these sequins and like studs and everything on it. You're wearing these like little things around your waist. Like that's cool. Like you're making it yourself. You're giving your own personality, which we need in track, because all these uniforms look the freaking same and it's annoying to me. So I'm excited that she's doing that little thing to change it up as well. But overall, I think both of these athletes are happy with what they did in their own regards, and so I'm looking forward to where they're going to be competing next, whether that's in Rome or that's somewhere else, I don't know, but I think they're both coming out of this competition happy with the way that they performed. Trayvon Bromell also, I think, is coming out of this competition very, very excited. So Trayvon wins the men's 100 with a time of 9.93. Fred Kerley got second with a 9.98. Christian Coleman got third with a 10.04. Noah Lyles in fourth with a 10.05. Letsili Tebogo got fifth with a 10.12. Arian Knighton, sixth place with a 10.14. Kyrie King, seventh place with a 10.16. Kenny Bednarik, eighth with a 10.18. And then Andre DeGrasse, ninth place with a 10.21. So, like I said, Trayvon Bromell is definitely coming out of this race happy. Of course, he would have loved to have run faster. A 9.93 isn't the fastest time in the world, but what is bigger for him is the competition that you beat. I mean, he mentioned in an interview after this race that for him, it was personal.
Yeah, man. Big thing is, like, I know it's a great field of competitors. My biggest thing is taking all the heat that I did last year, even this season. Like, everybody said, oh, he can run when nobody's in the race. So for me, it was personal. Not against nobody in the race, but more so for myself to show people like, man, I'm here to compete just like everybody else. I don't train to lose. So when people complain, there's things about, oh, is he going to show up at the big races? Are he going to do this? Like, this year, I'm worrying only about myself. I don't care about what the naysayers say. I'm focused more on me.
But at the end of the day, this is still a competition. You know, you can throw 10 touchdowns, you know, and break these touchdown records, or you can score 90 points in a game and all of that. But if your team loses, are you going to think about the amount of points you scored more, or are you going to care more about how, you know, the win that you got? I think you're going to care more about the win that you got. You know, similar thing. You go back to when LeBron James, you know, had the best finals of his entire career when he was in Cleveland, but ended up losing to you know, the Golden State Warriors. It's like, yeah, you played your heart out, but you still lost at the end of the day. So I think that's what Trayvon Bromell is excited about. It's like, yeah, I got a big win against some big names. Like, these are people that are going to be at the USA Championships. They're going to be at Worlds. And I ended up coming out here and winning. So I think he's very excited about that. Looking into someone that might be a little bit nervous on what's going on. I mean, Christian Coleman. Like, so a streak just ended with Christian Coleman that not a lot of people are talking about. Actually, no. A streak just ended with Christian Coleman that nobody is talking about. So Christian Coleman, going into this competition, he is one of two men to go 3 straight years after first breaking 10 seconds in the 100 and never running a 10-second race 3 times in a row. Let me explain what that means. So back in 2016, Christian Coleman broke 10 for the first time. So that was in June of 2016, he breaks 10 seconds for the first time. Since then, up until this past weekend, he never ran a 10 point anything, a 10-0, 10-1, 10-2. He never ran a 10-second race 3 times in a row. The only other person that can say they can do that for that extended period of time is Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt was able to do it for 8 seasons in a row. And Coleman did this for 3 seasons. Obviously, I'm not including the times that he was out for the suspension. He had 3 active seasons in a row that he was able to do this. And no one else can say that, like I said. Tyson Gay can't say that. Asafa Powell can't say that. Maurice Green can't say that. Carl Lewis can't say that. Justin Gatlin can't say that. You know, none of these sprinters have the ability to say that. And he was in that elite club. And now he's going back down just like everyone else. You know, now he's with everyone else. He's taken off that pedestal of extraordinary consistency, and he's now back with every other sprinter. So I would be a little bit concerned if I were him. Like, yo, I used to be this guy that runs 9s like all the time. Like, that was my thing. And now I've run 3 in a row in the 10s. One thing that is different from everyone else this year is that he does have the bye. So he doesn't have to peak in 3 weeks like everyone else does for the USA Championships. He just has to be ready for Worlds, which is happening in, like I said, a little bit under 2 months now. And so, yes, he's able to still train, and he doesn't need to be ready to run 9s in a few weeks. He's got to be ready to run it in a little over a month and a half. But I'm still a little bit nervous, man. Like, you used to be this guy that was super duper consistent, and now you're not there right now. I think we're gonna have to see a sub 10 from him before he gets to the World Championships. Like, if he goes into the World Championships with the season's best of a 10 point anything, if it's a 10-0, whatever it is, I'm kind of concerned if I'm Coleman, because it's gonna take a 9-7 to be able to win the World Championships. And so if he's going into that with a personal best of a 10 anything, he's going to be in a really bad spot. It's going to be tough. I mean, there's so many athletes right now that are running 9-8s consistently, 9-7s, or people that are just consistent in the low 9-9. I mean, obviously, you got the Trayvon Bromells, the Fred Kerleys, the Lamont Jacobs. You got the Omanyalas of the world. Like, there's a lot of athletes here that are running in those 9-7, 9-8 ranges. And if you're going into the World Championships with a 10 point anything, I think you're going to be really having to dig yourself out of a hole that I'm not sure if you can do in just 3 races there. So if I'm Coleman, I'm really trying to get this thing buttoned up, because you don't like breaking those big streaks. You want to stay in the conversation with Bolt as long as you can, and having that drop off right at this time before a world championship, not the best. So he's got some time to get back to it, but he's got to wrap up. He's got to tighten that ship up. So, like I said, Trayvon Bromell, he's coming out of here ecstatic. The time wasn't what he wanted. 9:93 isn't crazy, but he was celebrating, a couple meters before the line. He knew how much this meant to him, and just being able to get a W against this field is a huge thing. Like I said, it's a confidence booster for him. Is it going to mean anything if he can't perform at Worlds? No, but it means a lot that I think he's going to have a much better chance to do so, because he has this extra confidence for sure. So staying on the men's sprinting side, we have Michael Norman. So Michael Norman, he ran a 43.60, which is a big time season's best. It was a meet record for the event here at Prefontaine, beating Michael Johnson's previous record, and is the world lead currently. He won, like I said, with the 43.6. Kirani James in second with a 44.02. Matthew Hudson Smith in third with a 44.35. Vernon Norwood in fourth with a 44.66. Jareem Richards in fifth with a 44.79. Michael Cherry in sixth with a 45.04. Isaac McCalwa in seventh with a 45.35. Bryce Dedman in eighth with a 45.35 as well. And then Kamari Montgomery rounding out the field with a 46.04. So this is a big time confidence booster, like I said, for Michael Norman. He had been coming into these competitions not really performing as well as he wanted. The Olympics didn't go his way, coming in fifth place. And so, like I said, if there's any athlete here that is coming out of this meet feeling the best, it's Michael Norman, because he wins against a really good field and he runs a fast time. And those are the two things that you want. With Sha'Carri Richardson, she ran a fast time, but she didn't win. With Trayvon Bromell, he won the competition, but he didn't do it in a fast time. Michael Norman has both of those, with the 43.60 and with the win here. So he's coming out excited of how he's performing. He's still going to have to be able to do it and prove that he can, show up during a championship setting, because Stephen Gardner still exists. Like, that guy doesn't lose. Last time he lost in a 400 was 2018 or 2017. And so he's been running extraordinarily consistent in these races, and he shows up in the big moments. I can't necessarily say that for Michael Norman yet. He has the talent. He's one of the most talented 400 meters and talented sprinters that we currently have, but he has shown that in those big time moments, it has been a little difficult. Similar with Trayvon Bromell. Both of these athletes have shown that they have extraordinary talent, and they perform, big time throughout the year. The one issue with both of these guys that we have seen had been those big meets. But I think this is a defining competition for him. This is a defining year with the World Championships. If Michael Norman and Trayvon Bromell both perform, which I'm expecting them to do, at the World Championships, then I think we can kind of kiss that old stuff goodbye of all right, you perform when it mattered the most. It was on the US, it was in the US. You were coming in with a lot of other talented athletes here before in the 100, where you have a laundry list of athletes that could win this championship. On the men's side, you broke the streak of Stephen Gardner, so you're good there. If either of them or both of them can win, I think that's going to bode well for what it means for them for the rest of the year and the rest of their careers if they can get that win. That's a big if, though. Like, you have to be able to show up in these big moments. Like I said, they have the talent to do so, but will they actually do it? That's the question. Up next, the last event, and only going to briefly talk about this from the Prefontaine Classic. Really cool with Jakob Ingebrigtsen. So he had the best quote of the day.
With you after the pacer dropped off the field today?
You can't be disappointed with people not being better, unfortunately.
which is like, ooh, that's so cold. And I love that. Like, yeah, I can't be upset that people didn't go with me in this mile because I'm just too good. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of true. Yeah, he won with a 3 minute 49 second 3:49 mile. Oliver Hoare in second, Chariot third, Kipsang in fourth, and Hocker in fifth. If I'm looking at the race, it was a pretty bad race strategy for Cole Hocker. He got stuck behind Chariot and Kipsang. It looked like he had a kick that could go ahead of them, but it was like a brick wall. Like it was Chariot, Kipsang that were lining up. They were in lane 1 and 2, really close to each other, and then right behind them, kind of in like a triangle, Triforce type situation, was Cole Hocker. And so he was just stuck right behind them, and you can't go run around them. There's only like 15 meters left, so that would have taken too much time. But if he can race strategy better, he's got an opportunity to be in that conversation for the 1500. When that's going down. Micah Williams had an amazing race this past year. He runs last past weekend. He runs a 9.86 at the preliminary rounds. It's the second fastest time in the world behind Omanyala, who ran a 9.85. This guy has gone 9.8 twice this year, including a time of 9.83, which he ran earlier this year, which was a plus 2.5 win, so a little bit over the legal limit there. But right now, it's Micah Williams' national championship to lose, in my opinion. He's proven that when he races, he is extraordinarily consistent and he runs at a very high level. And I believe that he's going to continue to do so throughout the rest of the season. The thing that is standing in between him and a championship the most, in my opinion, is himself. If he's able to get out the blocks well and finish the whole thing, then no one can stop him. The only reason I'm saying that is last time we saw him at the national championship indoors, he false starts. And so if he doesn't false start and he gets a clean race off, I don't see many people being able to check him. Like, unfortunately, Devontae Burnett, like, he's injured. He's not going to be doing this thing. The other athletes that have the opportunity to do that, you got Tennessee with Favor Ash. You got New Orleans. He's going to be coming out here running fast. Matthew Bowling, Fambule, like all these guys will have opportunities to be pushing Micah Williams to win, but he's coming in as the favorite and he should win. If he can put together a championship, I think it's going to be hard to not have him in the top 3 for a Bowerman, even with his false start that he had earlier on in the indoor nationals. So he's looking really good. Other things that went down in the college standpoints that was exciting. I mean, Fambule, he was just reeling athletes in the 200. Like the 100. Sorry, it was really funny because when he was running, one of the announcers actually had said like, "Oh, Fambule with his patented slow start," and it's like, man, this guy just can't get a break. Like that was funny. In the D2 region, so we go there. Brandon Miller of GVU, Grand Valley, he ends up running a 20.20. What was most impressive about that, if you're taking a look at the video, is that he reeled in Benjamin Asmati. So he was behind him by about 1.5 meters going into the last part of the race. So there's probably about 50 meters left in this race, and Asmati has about 1.5 meters lead on Brandon Miller. And Brandon Miller just reels him in and ends up out-leading him at the line and getting the W there. This guy, he's also transferring over to Connecticut for next year, so we're going to be seeing him in the Power 5 region this upcoming season, but just a really cool race that we saw there. So a lot of stuff going on in the college standpoints. That's all I wanted to talk about right now. Next week, we're going to be having our NCAA mega episode. So we're going to be breaking down every single event for the men and for the women for the national championship. We're going to have some guests joining us, during the sprints, distance, all that type of stuff. We're going to have other athletes, helping us out, discussing what's going on. But it's gonna be really exciting. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It'll be a long episode. It'll be probably about 2 hours or so, maybe even a little longer. But hope that you guys enjoy that. That's going to be it for us here with Track World News. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. I sure did. If you want more content, go and follow us over on Instagram at Track World News. Also, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, leave a review, comment, all that stuff helps us know you're enjoying the content that we're having going on here. That's going to be it for us. Have a good one. Peace.